Good evening, everyone. This is Tech Sergeant Mackey, and I'm finally back for a hike after being out with some back injuries and ended up with a infection on my leg too. I'm on the mend and I'm ready for another hike, and this is a really good one. This is one area I've been in the winter time. It is about 5 after 9 at night. This is an interactive hike. I need your help here. We're investigating a new area, or an area that I haven't been to since the winter time, called the Marsh. Okay, now, when I investigated this last in the winter time, and it was a really cold night. Okay, this is the area I had a large rock thrown at me into the water. Okay, now this area, I'll give you some background. There's some old buildings here. These are like not in use buildings. And for two of my subscribers, to Erica and Hattie, that little thing there used to be an outhouse, but there is no current functioning one here. Okay, so this is an area that's pretty flat and some nice wide trails. Okay, this is an area that's the marsh because of it was a small stream that beavers have dammed up and turned it into a large marsh that literally floods into the forest, and we'll see some of that when we go back here. Right off the bat, straight ahead, we have a couple of bunnies. You can see those on the thermal. They're coming in. So we do have a couple of rabbits right in front of us there. So if nothing else, I've seen a couple of rabbits. And you got to understand, the way I am with wildlife, man, I love seeing any of the wildlife. They're starting to run away. I love seeing the wildlife. I love documenting that. Now we are looking for, first of all, we're looking for signs of anything that could have possibly thrown that rock at me, and it was a very large one. Actually caught it on video, and now I have a thermal. Didn't have a thermal back then. Okay, and I'll mention when we get to that spot. And I don't see any other cars parked around, so not anticipating running into any people. Okay, hate seeing the trees down the pathway. We had a couple of large storms come through, knock some stuff over. So we maybe some damage. This looks like, yeah, this looks like this was a damaged tree. So this area, when I did this, I was out here at like midnight and had that large rock thrown at me, and it didn't stop me. I didn't turn around. I kept going. I think I probably would have done a little further investigating had that not happened, but I still kind of completed the path that I was on. 'Cause I'm just kind of, I guess you'd say, crazy like that. But I definitely want to get into this place with the thermal. Now, I have to preference, we're south of I-90. Okay, south of the Grand River on I-90. And you'll still catch a little bit of the I-90 traffic noise, even though we're probably 3-4 miles south. You're still gonna catch some of that noise. And I just was in the parking lot listening to see what kind of noises we get. We still, even though we're pretty far away, you can still catch some of the train noises. It's really hard to get away from in Ashtabula County, same with I-90. Very hard to get away from that noise through Ashtabula County. So, so we still have some bird noises, and to give the full totality of the circumstances, now the lightning bugs are out. So there may be, you may be seeing, especially at dusk, which is the time frame that we're at here, you may be seeing the little flashes of light going across the screen, and that may be lightning bugs. So I'm going to give you all the information so that you guys can hopefully be able to help investigate with me on this, and see what we can find. There is a road by here. It is not a state route, a numbered route, but you will hear maybe a little traffic from that road. It's not necessarily a main route, but it is one that like has a covered bridge on it, and there's some wineries up a little bit north of here. Man, I was here in the winter time, and I got dead ahead. We got, looks like that is another rabbit. See if I can zoom in on him. Yeah, thermal's hitting on him pretty good. And there he goes. Yeah, we got another rabbit, so that's cool. So we got some rabbits, some prey animals. It's always good to have. I'll play with this here a little bit, trying to make sure I get it right. Okay, there's some very thick. Now, the bad part about this, these are thorns, okay? Yep, caught on them. Those are thorns that are going across the path there. All right, so we've caught 3 rabbits on video. Again, sunset was, it's past sunset, right? Sunset was probably 10-15 minutes ago. Now you can look down here and see that's all water. That's part of the, we'll get up here, we'll see where the beaver dam is. And if we're lucky, maybe we'll get to see the beaver. This is a very swampy, marshy place. And I'm trying to, and well, I hear some, that sounded like a bullfrog there, grunting or whatever they do. Because look, you can see there's thick, that is the marsh. And wow, I mean, all these trees, these are all dead trees. Hearing a lot of the toads tonight, or frogs tonight out here, which is okay. That's kind of good. I've had where I couldn't find we weren't hearing the frogs for a while. I don't know why it was. They just all of a sudden were silent. We were actually seeing signs that they were there, but they were all quiet. Which I'm not an expert on frog behavior, so I don't know why they're quiet sometimes and why they make noises. All right, I hear the frog, that's probably a bullfrog that was setting off behind me here. Now the thermal has a hard time picking up life forms in the water. But they're making some noise, so we're definitely hearing for bullfrogs that there's a beaver path where they haul their sticks and trees into their pond. So I picked this area for a couple of reasons. One, again, I had the big, I wouldn't even say stone because that would be too small. It was a big rock thrown at me in the middle of the night here, and then I was back here in the daytime shortly after that to check this out a little more. Again, this area is called the Marsh, so if you look on my on my playlist on my channel. It's bad. That one's on there, and I'll see if maybe if I can play around with it to see if I can link those videos to this new one here. Ooh, 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 we have something. What is that? Okay. I got thermal hitting a life form back there. Let me try to, okay. But I can't see what it, I see those, I see the eye shine now. Okay. And it looks like I can see the big ears up on that. And it looks like it, so I'm thinking a deer because I can see a couple of those big ears, but I totally caught that off of the thermal. I would not have seen it otherwise. And I can see its eye shine. I don't know if you guys are picking it up. Okay, come on. Trying to get this up higher maybe to see if I can see him dead looking at me, man, and it does not look like it's picking up on the camera. So I'm gonna try reposition a little bit. I can't. Well, thankfully, there it is. Okay. I got it a little bit on the camera. It's catching a little, and I'm having to hold it up kind of high to get it. There it is. Okay, so we definitely have, that definitely looks like a deer. You can see the shape on the thermal. Again, that's a thermal wind there because I've never caught that without the thermal. So it's amazing. So this thermal is definitely just a great asset. Okay, nothing's 100%. But this thing has caught more things than I have with my own eyes. So that means it's definitely good quality, I guess I'd say. I don't know, that the guy's still back there. Thermal's still picking him up, but he's hanging out back there. And he's a good size one. Or I think it might be a she. I can't tell. We'll have to check that in review. I can try to enlarge the image and see whether it has some horns on it. Okay. I have to mention this, and so, because twice in my videos, right as I mention this, I've had something happen, but I'm going to mention it again. I am carrying my two wireless hole punchers. The wireless hole puncher of the 10mm version and of the 9mm version. Both have large game rounds. It's called buffalo boar. Here's our main swamp. This little thing is this is the over top of a beaver dam, and I'm hearing something. Okay, moving around in the pond here. Oh, something was up there. That could have been the beaver. Or that could have been some sort of frog or turtle. They're all around here. You can hear. But this little, see, literally is like a dam dividing two, and it's been here so long, it's literally grown dirt over top. It's a thick. It is a very thick dam that trees have grown up on it. And this is again, this property was a long time ago a family farm area, and part of it in this area they had just kind of kept wilderness. And again, the beaver started to dam up. There's a stream that runs through here. Look at how narrow this little channel is. And it's thick woods, which could be to my advantage. This is out over, looking out over the marsh. I could hear something splash over there. But I would say that sounded like an animal splash. And there's some spots hopefully up here. When I was here in the wintertime, when all this vegetation was knocked down, you had some really good views out over the marsh. So some of that, a family that had been around in this area quite a long time, and that some of this family knocked my cord off of my flashlight. Hang on. I keep the power cord on the flashlight on the power tack. That way it'll stay running longer. Hear the frogs, bullfrogs and some other frogs going there. Put the hearing set on there to listen. Okay, because this is definitely, I'd say, active with wildlife. Okay. And we're right at dusk, which is probably the most active time for, one of the most active times for a lot of the predators, which means then the prey animals are definitely on the lookout. So there's actually like a little marsh over on this side too, and this is like a narrow pathway between the two, and this is the larger one, the main body one. And the vegetation that has grown up here since I was here, that was all gone in the winter time. So we still have some birds a chirping, even though I say it's getting later. Oh, look at, that's a nasty step you gotta watch here. So you see how I have to keep my focus, try to check thermal, regular camera, my surroundings, and where my next step is gonna be. And I knocked my cord off again, because it's only the charger cord on this power tech. It's neat. It's like a magnetic. There we go. Now this is a good view. We gotta, okay, always check your backside before you're gonna start to stare at an aerial. Make sure there's nothing around me. But this is a good view. And I hear somebody who's revving their engine like they're in a tractor pull. It is Ashtabula County. It's a rural place, kind of a redneck haven, so we're gonna get that those kind of, I guess what you'd say, I would, for lack of better terms, I would call them noise pollution. So, a lot of frogs. And it was just a little bit up the path here where the big rock was thrown, and it landed in the beaver pond, the marsh, which I have to look again and see when the last time I was here, because it was a while ago, and I remember coming here at night, and I came to this spot because I had my viewers vote saying they wanted to see a new location. And so this was the new location. Now, to give a caveat why I picked this right now, I'm recovering from some back injuries and a leg injury. Okay. This area is very flat. You always have to watch your step in the woods, but this is very flat. And literally about just on the other side of the Grand River, there's the tractor pull guy. Jeez almighty. That's some of the noise pollution you kind of got to deal with out here. Okay. Because again, this is not a main road that this is on, but it's a country road that's paved, and the big thing is just a little bit north of here are some wineries. So anyway, as the crow flies, probably a mile and a half from here is a campground along the Grand River where I currently have camp set up. Now, camp, that doesn't mean tent camp and all that. This is glamping. This is trailer in a gated camp in the trailer, which is more of a glorified trailer park. You know, just people with more money pretending to slum it. So we're, jeez, okay, that was a bird. It was just close. Okay. So, I do want to try and catch like that opposite shore of the beaver pond. Ooh, I heard something kerplunk in the pond, but that could have been anything from a fish to a frog to, I don't think that was a rock kerplunk. Now see, when I was here last, it was literally like, it was below freezing. It was like 30 degrees. There was like ice on the grass. And there was no frogs out. There was no other critters out that night when I had that happen. And it was right around here. Okay. So I was somewhere around here because I could look, and I'll try to zoom in on it. This little center of the island. I guess I've had it zoomed in. I apologize. I'm gonna zoom out. Okay. Okay. But that little center is where there's trees growing on top of it. It's probably still in use, but it's an old beaver dam. It's been there so long, the thing is growing trees on top of it. So, again, I'm not sure, like, say, probably still beavers around here. I can see some signs that they have been here in recent years. I got something moving in the water there by me, probably. Again, there's a lot of frogs out, so they're like jumping in the water when I go by. Thankfully, I'm up north, because if this was Florida, I'd never walk here at night, because you'd be alligator food. But thankfully up here in Northeast Ohio, we have no such critters. So I can walk in an area like this, a swamp, a bog, or marsh, whatever you want to call it, and not get eaten by anything. Again, cross my fingers. And it may have been right up, because I was right up. I remember these little hills. And say the terrain looks a little different from everything being grown up. But I remember I was trying to get the close up on this. So I think I was right about here where I had the rock throw. And it was a big kerplunk. And when you slowed the camera down, I definitely caught it. And I can see some of our, the fireflies are out. So some of those little, if that caught on the camera, some little glimpses of light flashing across the sky, those are not orbs. Those are not eye shine, those are fireflies. Ooh, I just heard something, some kind of a screech. Hearing some noises in the background now. I gotta watch my step through here. Cause see, look, we got the swamp on the other side here too. But this is a little bit rough of a, and these are thorns. Okay, so all these thorns have grown up on the side. Again, I'm out camping this weekend, and this is, like I said, as the crow flies, maybe 1.5 miles from the campsite. Something moving over there. All right. Drop in the comments things you've heard, especially if I mention it. Say, ooh, I heard something there. I definitely need to know what you guys heard. I'm seeing fireflies behind me too, and they kind of freaks you out at first until you realize what it is. Okay. So, lightning bugs or fireflies, whatever you want to call them. Harmless and something that, man, I just went through a spider web, so I'm trying to clear myself off. Okay. I haven't seen anything yet over here by the marsh anyway. And then this pond wraps around here. So, well, there's not even any Canadian geese out here today. I heard something over there, but now I hear the frogs going, but I heard another little noise. I mean, you talk about a place teeming with wildlife. So this is it. So, as you can see, what we found so far, great and small. This is it. Now, see, this is where the trail, it will go back here some, and this woods back here is, it is literally, the woods is just covered. And we'll see that it doesn't look like they really maintain this part, but we'll go back here a little bit just so we can definitely get a better view of this. The woods, see these woods over here? The beaver has dammed up this water and it has ran into these woods back here. Again, we got swamp on this side too. See, it's a kind of a chilly night. It's about 61 degrees and light breeze, about 5 miles an hour. Okay. And that pathway, it looks like it, and it gets rough. There's one of the indents from the beaver. So I'm gonna head back. I'm not gonna end up going over there because the pathway doesn't look that clear, and I know it like dead ends in just a total swamp. And there's really no place I can go over there, and I'm trying to keep this a little bit simple, because again, I am recovering from the back injuries, and so I did post on there what had happened, that I had an injury, but just to kind of go into a little more detail, it was something simple. I was hunching down to a small table. I'm 6'1", and people like to have these short tables for me to write on. And in Afghanistan, I damaged a bunch of my back, and damaged 7 vertebrae, well, that they caught at the time, and they actually believe it was more. But so I had an event back then in 2019 in Afghanistan where I had damaged the spine while I was in Kandahar, Afghanistan. I said something buzzed my ear there. So what happened was I went to bend over to write on this table, and at T8 and T9, the disc literally popped completely out of place. Sent me into miserable pain. It was just a simple thing. And sent me into just a terrible amount of pain. And I had to get some emergency work done on me. Ended up in emergency rooms. Oh yeah, and ended up getting a staph infection on my leg, probably from being in the emergency room, but can't prove that. But just somehow that happened on my left leg. But I had to get a lot of treatment, and fortunately they were quick in helping me, getting me help, because I was in miserable pain. Just a preference, and I guess I'll say that's the type of pain level I have. But because I became, from some of the toxics I was exposed to, laundry list of allergic things, allergies that I have. Well, the thing that's in most of the pain medicine, ibuprofen and Tylenol, just literally my body rejects it. So I don't get any benefit of the pain relief, and I get sick violently. So I literally have no pain medicine that I can take until, like I won't take the kind that take me out of a sober mind, like your oxycodones, or I don't want those. They've been offered to me, and I don't want them. I don't want anything that I could possibly get addicted to. There are some muscle relaxers that occasionally I get prescribed, but for the most part, I just have to deal with the pain, and I use CBD oil, and that's it. So, okay, this place here is, this is a amazing place. And again, I wish I'd have had the thermal with me. This is before I bought the thermal. This was another one of the things that was in that reason where I started to look for better cameras, because I was missing, wasn't catching everything. Now, you guys have been awesome at catching stuff and at like matching together the two videos. I'll release both of these, the regular video and the thermal. You guys have been great at finding stuff and matching up the two videos and matching noises to then heat signatures. Just seen a firefly over there. I caught it out of the corner of my eye. So when I see the fireflies go off, I end up turning because I'm checking to see what it is. Because I keep thinking it's, you know, something, some sort of eye shine or something. That's just me. Because again, that's a new wrinkle to deal with these videos. And I can hear a lot of those bullfrogs. I'm just trying to catch the sounds. I know it's night, we still have some birds a chirping. So, again, those fireflies, that's definitely something, a new wrinkle to take in, because you see those little glows of light in front of you, you instantly want to react to them as if it's something more than a little bug. But it's not. Okay, now I got an aircraft going over me. Yeah, skies have cleared up a little bit, but there's a few clouds in the sky. Okay. There's our plane. We're not that far from the Ashtabula County Airport, so that's one of our reasons why we'll get some small aircraft over around here. Now, I do want to mention something that happened today. We had very bad weather and along Lake Erie. Very wavy, and we get the rip currents, the high waves. It's not good to swim. And we had a bad incident happen in Conneaut today. A 10-year-old boy went into the water when his family wasn't looking, and which happens. And disappeared. And Lake Erie's famous for that. They have been searching. They had Coast Guard up here, all kinds of volunteers. Volunteer firefighters there doing the chains through the water, and they still have not found him. But he was last sighted in the water, and that's very sad. A 10-year-old boy, just at the beginning of his summer vacation. I mean, and 10 years old, he was, what, going into 4th grade. It's devastatingly sad. The family's a local family, which my heart goes out to them too. I don't want to say their names on here, but it's just terrible. And I'm heartsick. I'm heartsick for them, and just the loss of that little boy. Some of you may know what I'm talking about with that event, because that's taken the whole county by storm. Ashtabula County's got about 96,000 people in it, right around there, give or take 1,000 or so. And it's the largest in land in the state of Ohio. So in this county, when something happens to one of us, I mean, it happens to all of us. We're kind of close-knit communities. Tractor pull guy's back. And I can hear I-90 in the distance, and you know, it's like it's hard to get far enough away to not hear that. Starting to pan around a little bit too much there. I'm sorry about that. Well, nothing threw a rock tonight. Maybe I should have been out here a little later. I am out with, this is family time tonight, but they're doing a activity at the campground that I'm not really involved in. They have bingo night on Fridays, and I'm not really much for, while they go play bingo, I go for hikes in the woods. And because I'm so close, I mean, it's perfect. This is an area I've been wanting to get back to. So also, I know a lot of people here. As you know, I'm part of the crew in Cameraman and Crew with Jack the Cameraman. Okay. And he just recently got injured while he was out in the woods. Deep out in the middle of the woods, he fell and tore his meniscus in his knee and tore a ligament in his knee and literally couldn't walk, was on the ground. Had to call for an ambulance to come get him in the woods at night. So I do want to say I wish him a speedy recovery. And we haven't been able to do a video with him since he made the trek up to Conneaut with me because of his injury. It's almost like I know there's probably more wildlife around here. It's just a matter of probably the time to run into it. I don't remember that pathway because, you know what? That way's back towards the marsh. Okay, I think this is our way towards the exit. We're gonna keep moving that way. Now, something else that we're going to get into here with noise as we get into the summer is we're going to start getting cicadas going off and more crickets. So I like seeing like where there's a little, kind of like a little opening here that I can get this thermal back into the view back into the woods. Sorry, I heard some sort of noise there. So we are still hearing some birds are out. But again, it's early dusk, or I mean early part of the dark here, because we're probably running about probably 9:45, getting close to 10 o'clock at night. Yeah, so I will be sleeping in a camper tonight. So See, the fireflies are lighting up, and I start. See, there's one of them. I start when they light up, man. That's like catching my attention, and I know it's nothing. They're a bug, but it's catching my attention. It's throwing me off. It's just making me think it's something. Okay. So apologize if I've panned a little too much here or quicker. Usually if I'm panning left to right like that quickly, it's because I'm hearing something. And I might not always mention what I hear sometimes because I can't quite process it. So I am trying to check this thermal. Man, these woods are thick. You cannot see through. Look at it, just can't penetrate too much through those. You know, this thing does have its limitations, and that's why, like, come fall and winter time, when this is all down, this thermal will be killer awesome. But it's already still, even with the challenges of that I have here with thick vegetation. Thought I heard almost like a clap. Can you guys hear that? So weird. Look at how this tree's hanging over the path. I swear I heard something on my 6. Aside from frogs. Again, I'm catching lightning bugs all around me too, which is definitely drawing my attention. So I apologize if I start to pan a little too much because of that. Catching a heat signature dead ahead, and I can't tell what it is. Maybe nothing. But now I'm like not wanting to look to the side here. Doesn't look like it's moving, so we're gonna pan over around to check. We're gonna do a 360. We don't have that type of object there. We do have the same object still there, which means it might be a stationary one. And I think what I'm seeing might be some of that road. It might be catching all the way out to the road. Okay, so that's definitely from an animal. Something big was bedded down there. I don't know when, but fairly recently. It didn't look like it was, I'm not catching any heat off of it, so it wasn't like while I was here. Maybe like the night before or something. Okay. And that's what I'm picking up. I'm picking up the darn sign. And this thing. As you see, the stone ends up heat. They've retained the heat there later into the night. And so that's what I was picking up, is that stone. We're back up by the buildings, the parking lot. I'm going to scan around in this parking lot. Okay, we got my car over there. It's hitting on the car. That's the way I walked in. That's just where I came from, and you can see that's where that stone monument thing is. Okay. We're going to scan around here. See if we can catch anything that's out here in the open. I want to thank all you guys for watching to the end. Let me know what you thought, if you heard anything. I will be trying to get out to some more areas. Some of it may be contingent upon my health, but if I can get out to places, I definitely will, because this is something I enjoy doing. Okay, so the marsh was filled with fireflies. It's interesting to see like how the heat hits off of things different, but just two. Okay. That was the breeze, but you know, I guess I'm a little jumpy. All right, let's get back over to the car. Let me know what you thought of the place. And if you could, check out my first video where the large rock was thrown, and tell me what you thought of it. And compare it, you know, compare and contrast with this one. I greatly appreciate that. I'll try to put a link in that, see if I can put these two together. All right, guys, I appreciate you all. Have a wonderful weekend. Thank you for watching. God bless you.